Hi guys, and welcome to another video where today we're going to be attempting to predict the scores and results for week 30 of this season's Premier League. Week 30, I think that means there's only 9 more games left of this season. But before we get on to this week's predictions, let's have a quick look at last week. Now, I actually came away with 9 points and you came away with 7. Yeah. I had 1 perfect score. You didn't have any perfect scores, but all the same, you had 7 points, I had 9 points. Overall, I'm now on 195 points, you're on 205 points. So the gap is now back down to 10 points. Looking at the comments section, this week we had XX Gaming, came away with a great score of 10 points. So XX Gaming, XX, well done. Before we move on to week 30, we just want to give a quick shout out to your new channel that's just launched.
NWM. At the moment, I've been trying to search on my channel using the YouTube search tool. You know, at the top of the website, but currently my channel isn't coming up. So if you want to access the channel, go for Bluebird Legend, and I'm on the featured.
It's on the featured channels, and I'll put a link in the description somewhere as well. So head over to there. Okay, let's move on to week 30 then.
Okay, so first up we have the ultimate rivalry between Man United and Liverpool at Old Trafford. Now, Liverpool seem to be free scoring. They have actually scored more Champions League goals than 9 teams in the Premier League have scored all season.
Yes,
which is pretty
good
impressive.
Stat,
yeah. But Man United, I know for a fact they're going to park the bus this game. They have won their last 2 fixtures. Liverpool seems to be free scoring at the moment. I think Liverpool are going to go back into second. So for that reason, I think it's going to be 2-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah, this is the match, you could say, of the weekend. Manchester United are at home. Will Jose, as you say, park the bus? He won't want Liverpool to go ahead of them. It's going to be a very, very tight game, and it could go either way. As you say, Salah's on fire. Man United, Lukaku's coming back to a bit of form. I think it's going to end up in a stalemate. I can't see Manchester United losing this one. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw. They were lucky to get away from Crystal Palace last week as well with that 3-2 victory. Palace did well in that match, but yeah, I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Okay, moving on to the second fixture of the weekend. The first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, of course, is Everton versus Brighton at Everton. Everton, terrible run of form, really, you could say. Last week, of course, they come unstuck against Burnley, narrowly losing 2-1 in the end. This week against Brighton, they are at home. They really need to find a victory from somewhere. I know they had that good victory, I think it was against Watford about 3 or 4 matches ago. And I fully expect them to win this one in a tight encounter, because Brighton have actually turned the corner in some sort of ways and having good results themselves. And I can see Burnley winning, Everton winning this one at 2-1.
Well, believe it or not, I think Brighton are actually going to win 2-1. Instead of Everton.
Murray's on great form at the moment.
I'm reversing your decision pretty much. So Murray's been fantastic. Brighton just seem to be really picking up the form. They're sat in 10th position. They haven't lost in 5 games. They're doing really well. Everton are struggling for form. Of course, Brighton getting that amazing win over Arsenal last time around. So for that reason, 2-1 to Brighton.
Okay.
No, it's away actually, so that's a bit of a gamble by me. Next match, we've got Huddersfield versus Swansea in Huddersfield now. Huddersfield, they're not playing particularly well. They're sat in 15th position. Good for a promoted Championship side, but they could have been doing better. They're starting to pick up form now. Swansea, they're playing well. They're performing well at home, but they can't replicate that form away. So for that reason, because Huddersfield are good, are at home and they are playing good at home, I'm going to put a Huddersfield 1-0 victory.
Yeah, Swansea under Carvajal, they've really turned the corner, playing some okay football from what I've seen, but it's results that matter at this stage of the season. They've dragged themselves away from that relegation zone, and picking up points. You can't ask more from that from the Jacks, unfortunately. In this match, they are going away to Huddersfield. Huddersfield, blow hot and cold, really, and I can see this one ending up in a stalemate, 1-1.
Next up, we have Newcastle versus Southampton up north. Newcastle sat in 16th. They've had a few draws and an occasional win, but haven't been performing well. Southampton, same story goes really. Probably the toughest fixture of the weekend, 16th versus 17th. And for that reason, I just can't see anything happening in this game, and I think it's going to be 0-0.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be low scoring, this match.
Yeah.
However, I think Newcastle just going to edge it, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 narrow victory.
Interesting.
Newcastle don't score that many goals, but they don't concede many either.
Yeah.
Southampton, they're just outside the relegation zone. They really need to pick up a point. I think they've shored up as well themselves, not conceding that many. It could end up in a draw, but I'm just going for that 1-0 victory to Newcastle.
Mitrovic being loaned out was
he's on fire
at
the moment.
Really bad decision by Newcastle, because he was scoring when he was playing for them. Just don't know why they just loaned him out. Really.
Yeah, I think it's the style of play that Fulham, they play to maybe Mitrovic's strengths, and he's knocking them in the back of the net, which is great for Fulham because they're like a train headed, going up the championship table at the moment. So yeah, I can see this one being a narrow victory for Newcastle, and you've predicted a draw. Moving on to the next fixture of the weekend, we got West Bromwich Albion rooted to the table against Leicester City. Leicester City, hard to predict. You think they're on a good scoring, good run, and then they go and lose a match. They're against West Brom. I think this is going to be another draw. I'm going for a 1-1 draw in this match.
Well, West Brom, they have lost their last 5 matches on a trot, and Alan Pardew, he's a fish out of water at West Brom, in my opinion. He just can't get anything, he just can't control the team properly, and he just can't get anything out of the side. He had a transfer window, didn't perform in the transfer window, didn't sign anyone at all.
It is hard, to come in and build a team just after Christmas, though, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I know, but he did have the transfer window, to be fair, and he's a fish out of water. He can't get anything to go, and for that reason, and once again, they've been such out of form. Whereas Leicester, they're a yo-yo inside as well. Some weeks they turn up, some weeks they don't, and for that reason, I have gone for a 2-0 Leicester win because I think Leicester are going to turn up. Yeah.
Vardy, Mahrez at all, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, next up we got West Ham against Burnley at the London Stadium, as they call it now, don't they?
Yep.
West Ham got their bottom spanked last week by Swansea, of course, 4-1. They ran out in the end. I think they're going to go back home. They're a bit stronger at home, West Ham. Yeah. Maybe Hernandez can, he's chipping in the goals now and again, and Arnautovic, fine player there. I'm not sure if he's injured. He's back in the team now. And
no, I think he's injured. I think.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but I'm going to have to check out that because he's been there, shining light. I think Antonio comes on from the bench and scores goals as well. And I can actually see West Ham gaining a victory in this one. They need it to, claw themselves away from that relegation zone, as it's really tight down there at the moment. Well, it has been for the past 10 weeks or so. And I can see them grinding out a 2-1 victory against Burnley. Burnley, you can't predict. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. Are their players on the beach?
Yeah, I agree with you. Burnley don't really know whether they're going to turn up, and West Ham, they've got up and down yo-yo in form as well. This is another tough one to predict, and I just can't see there being any goals in this one, really. So I think it's going to be 0-0.
0-0.
0-0 draw.
Okay.
Next up, we have Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace narrowly getting that loss against Man United last time around.
Yeah, they played well.
Chelsea lost their last 2 matches. Yo-yo in form as well. Seems that Antonio Conte has fallen out with the board, but who knows? I think this is going to be a tough one as well, just looking at my result. I think this is going to be a tough one as well, but I can only see Chelsea narrowly winning, really. So I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory to Chelsea. Yeah,
we don't know what's going on at Chelsea. They play Hazard up front with William and Pedro on the wings. They've got 2 strikers on the bench, Morata and Giroud. Didn't start with them. Giroud coming on late in the game. I think it was like 90th minute. What's the point in that? Conte looks like he wants out of the place. So for that reason, and they're turning up and they're losing or drawing matches. Crystal Palace playing okay. They really need to pick up points. They're fighting for their lives now because they are in that relegation zone, the last of the relegation spots. And I think they're actually going to go to Stamford Bridge and come away with a point, 1-1.
Interesting. Plus, by the looks of things, I was reading stuff on like Facebook and all that, and it looks like Conte has been kind of offered the Italy job, and they want him back in the Italy job because that's where he's performing really well as well. When he left, of course, they failed to qualify for the World Cup. So, okay, then moving on to Sunday, we have Arsenal versus Watford at the Emirates. Arsenal losing to Brighton and Hove. Loads of unhappy fans wanting Arsene Wenger to go. Piers Morgan saying on Good Morning Britain earlier this week that they should get a man in a white coat and slowly push him out of the press room door. Just like, there you go, it's time for you to leave. Just very discreetly. But Arsenal fans, they just want him out. Except if you're Ty, who absolutely loves him. But anyway, Watford yo-yo in form as well. They have won their last 2 matches under their new manager. I don't know who he is because half their managers you can't even pronounce. But I think Arsenal are going to regain form. They're going to be up for it. They're good at home, so I've gone for 2-0 victory.
Yeah, okay. Arsenal on the back of 3 consecutive defeats in the league. They are stronger at home. I don't like this sort of witch hunt against Arsene Wenger. Okay, maybe he does deserve the sack or to go, but it's not like you've got Piers Morgan on TV. Of course, you got this Arsenal fan TV constantly on them, on his back, fans on his back. Not good to see, really. You kind of feel for the guy, but maybe he should go. But when it going gets tough to get going. And I can see Arsenal coming away with a 3-1 victory. Watford concede a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Score goals as well. Yeah, I can't see Watford going away to the Emirates and winning this one. Arsenal 3-1. Okay, moving on to the penultimate game of the weekend, which is second match on Sunday, of course, is Bournemouth versus Spurs. Spurs, fine form. They're playing in Europe tonight against Juventus. They've got good strength and depth for that squad. Can bring in players. I know Lamella's not playing tonight. They can change their wing backs as well. Ben Davis and Trippier, I think, are playing this evening. Where they got the likes of Aurora, I think his name is Danny Rose. So they got good strength in depth there, and I can fully see them going to Bournemouth and gaining a 2-0 victory. Don't concede many either, Spurs. So 2-0.
Well, I can see Bournemouth. I think they're going to be up for it in this match because they are at home. They seem to be playing well at home as well as many of the other sides. Tottenham in fine form, haven't lost in over 6 matches. So I can see this being a narrow Tottenham win, and I think they're going to win 1-0. So
okay, on to the final match of the weekend, which is on Monday night. We've got Stoke against Manchester City. Manchester City all but wrapped up the title now. Fully expect to go to Stoke, even though they're fighting for their lives. They're going to make it difficult for the Sky Blues. But I can see Manchester City with their firepower, their strength, winning 2-0.
I think they're actually going to score 1 more goal. Stoke, they have drawn those last 3 matches, but they seem lost out. They seem lost down there. Like I predicted at the start of the season, they sold all their star power. They're struggling, and I think it's going to be 3-0 to Manchester City.
So that concludes our predictions for week 30 of this year's Premier League season. Remember, I'm going to leave a template of the fixtures in the description below. All you need to do is cut and paste, put them into your comments, and like XX Gaming this week, you too can have a shout out if you gain the most points in your predictions. But for now, is there anything you'd like to add? Who do you think is going to be going next in the managerial merry-go-round?
I don't think there's going to be anyone for the rest of the season, but
not even West Brom. Well, pushing that panic button.
I think they might. I think they should, because maybe if they lose this weekend, then they'll get rid of Pardew because he's a fish out of water. But at the end of the season, I can see possibly Arsene Wenger going. There's rumours that he might extend his contract for another 2 years, or the Arsenal board offer him a contract extension. But I also saw somewhere that PSG want to sign Arsene Wenger, which is quite a shock that I saw on Facebook. Could be fake news, but they want to get rid of Umar Emery, I think his name is. Yeah,
French, going PSG, back home. You never know. For me, I think Conte's gone at the end of the season.
Yeah, he's going.
Pardew, depends. This weekend, if they suffer a heavy loss, then he could go.
Yeah.
They may press that button. They've got nothing to lose. Or they should be looking at next season. They've got to rebuild for the Championship. But as we said, guys, that's it for now. We're going to bid you farewell, and we'll see you in the next video.
Sub to my channel.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.